Welcome to The Art of War, classic audio series on China Tales. In this series, we explore the timeless wisdom of Sun Tzu through the original text of The Art of War, followed by an insightful interpretation of its principles. To conclude, we'll share a song inspired by this chapter. Let's dive into the world of strategy. Original text of The Art of War, Chapter 12, Attack by Fire.
Sun Tzu said, "There are 5 ways to attack with fire. First, burn enemy personnel. Second, burn their stores of supplies. Third, burn their transport wagons. Fourth, burn their arsenals and armories. Fifth, burn their formations or encampments. To use fire, there must be proper conditions, and all necessary materials must be prepared in advance. The time to ignite is when the weather is dry. The most favorable days are when the moon is in the Chinese constellations known as Ji, Bi, Yi, or Zhen, positions the ancients believed would bring strong winds. When you attack by fire, you must act according to the 5 possible situations. If fire breaks out inside the enemy camp, respond quickly from outside. If fire starts but the enemy remains calm, wait and do not attack. Let the flames reach their peak before moving in. If there is an opportunity, strike. If not, hold back. If fire can be started outside the enemy camp without relying on an internal blaze, do so at the right moment. If you ignite fire upwind, do not attack from downwind. Remember, in the daytime, wind lasts longer. At night, it quickly dies down. An army must understand these 5 variations of fire attack and act in accordance with them. Using fire in war shows clarity. Using water shows strength. Water can cut off the enemy, but it cannot destroy them as fire can. If you win in battle and seize the enemy's territory but fail to consolidate your gains, disaster will follow. This is called a wasteful campaign. Thus, the wise ruler considers carefully, and the capable general ensures proper preparation. Do not move unless it is to your advantage. Do not use your troops unless there is something to gain. Do not fight unless the situation is critical. A ruler must not send an army into battle out of anger. A general must not fight out of resentment. Act when it brings advantage, halt when it does not. Anger can turn to joy and resentment can turn to satisfaction. But a nation destroyed cannot be restored. The dead cannot be brought back to life. Therefore, a wise ruler is cautious, and a good general remains vigilant. This is the way to keep the nation safe and the army whole.
Interpretation of The Art of War, Chapter 12, Attack by Fire.
In the world of war, there is a weapon as old as civilization itself: fire. Sun Tzu devotes this chapter to its use, when to unleash it, how to control it, and why it can decide the fate of armies. He names 5 ways to strike with fire: burn the enemy's soldiers and camps, burn their stores of grain and supplies, burn their wagons, weapons, and war gear, burn their warehouses and depots, burn their supply convoys and transport lines. But fire is not to be used blindly. It demands the right moment, dry weather, and the wind in your favor. The ancients watched the skies. When the moon passed through the constellations Ji, Bi, Yi, or Zhen, they knew the winds would rise, and the time for fire would come. Once the flames are set, you must act according to the situation. If fire breaks out inside the enemy camp, strike quickly from outside. If fire burns outside their lines, act at once. Don't wait for an inside signal. Always set the blaze from upwind. Never advance from downwind. And remember, daytime winds last, night winds fade. Fire destroys not just soldiers, but the lifeblood of an army. Its supplies, its tools, its will to fight. Water may cut the enemy off, but it cannot burn away their strength as fire can. Yet Sun Tzu warns, victory by fire means nothing if you do not secure it. Win the battle, but fail to hold what you've taken, and disaster will follow. This is what he calls wasteful delay, when stinginess in reward drains the soldier's spirit and leaves the war to drag on. And above all, war must serve the state's true interest. Do not fight without a clear chance of victory. Do not act unless the moment is critical. A ruler must not send troops out of anger. A general must not fight out of resentment. Anger can cool, resentment can fade, but a fallen nation cannot be restored and the dead will not return. Attack by fire is more than a manual for burning the enemy's camp. It is a lesson in timing, discipline, and restraint. It teaches that the greatest victories come not just from destroying the enemy, but from knowing when to strike and when to stop.
Thank you for listening to the Art of War classic audio series on China Tales. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and help us share these timeless strategies. Your subscription supports us in keeping these ancient teachings alive. Finally, we've created a song inspired by this chapter. Please enjoy.
The ground is dry, the wind is sharp. A spark can light the ancient dark. The shadows deep where whispers creep. The battle waits, it does not sleep. Strike the ember, make it rise. Turn the night into the skies. Flames of strategy roaring higher. All is conquered by the fire. Burn the fields and seize the throne. Victory is forged in ash and stone. The silent step, the careful hand. A war is won before it stands. The wasted move, no careless stride. A plan like river.